Children are priceless gifts in the lives of every parent. For Black celebrities, this is no different. Every scraped knee, every fever, every failure brings its own set of worries. But when a child faces challenges greater than the usual childhood illnesses, the pain becomes deeper, immeasurable. The 15 stars we are about to highlight may shine brightly on stage and screen, but behind the spotlight, they are quietly fighting a different battle. Not for fame or fortune, but for the health and happiness of their beloved children. Their journeys are filled with strength, love, and resilience as they navigate the many challenges of raising children with unique health struggles. So before you continue watching this video, get your tissues ready. These deeply moving stories of love, sacrifice, and perseverance will touch your heart and remind us all of the sacred, unbreakable bond between parent and child. If you find this story interesting, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, drop a 0, and don't forget to share the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's dive into the story. Taraji P. Henson isn't just a radiant star on the Hollywood screen, she's a powerful force of nature and a true inspiration. With captivating performances in films like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button Empire and many more, Taraji has captured the hearts of audiences around the world. But behind the spotlight, fame, and success lies a personal journey filled with hardship, a battle with deep loss, and the heavy weight of unshakable sorrow. Taraji's only son, Marcel Johnson, grew up under the shadow of a devastating tragedy. At just 9 years old, he was forced to confront a horrifying reality, the murder of his father. This heartbreaking event didn't just change Marcel's life forever. It unleashed an emotional storm that sent him spiraling into deep depression and severe anxiety. One summer morning in 2003 in Washington, D.C., as gentle sunlight streamed through the window, Marcel sat motionless on the windowsill of a darkened room. His hollow eyes stared into nothingness. His face dry, there were no more tears left to cry. His mother, Taraji, called his name with all the love and worry she had, but he didn't respond. She shook him again and again, her voice filled with desperation, but Marcel remained like a statue of sorrow. Silence and emptiness filled the room. At the hospital, doctors quickly diagnosed Marcel with severe depression, an aftermath of the emotional trauma caused by losing his father. From that point on, Marcel was no longer the cheerful boy he once was. He stopped laughing, spoke very little, and became indifferent to everything around him. There were days when Marcel locked himself in his room for hours, refusing to eat or talk to anyone. Despite Taraji's pleading, begging, even collapsing in front of her son, Marcel's condition didn't improve. His body became so frail that doctors warned if he didn't start eating again, his life could be at risk. Still, Taraji never gave up. She clung to every small glimmer of hope, determined not to let her son fall into the abyss. Years of persistent therapy, combined with her boundless love, gradually helped Marcel recover. Throughout those difficult times, Taraji was his strongest pillar, unwavering in her fight to give Marcel a better life. In recent years, Marcel has begun to explore a passion for the entertainment industry, trying his hand at modeling and acting. Occasionally, he appears alongside his mother at events, but he continues to keep a low profile, choosing to stay out of the spotlight. The emotional scars from the past still remain, but Marcel is learning each day to live in peace with them and move forward. For Taraji, the pain of watching her son go through such difficult challenges has become a driving force in her own journey. She has since become a powerful advocate for mental health, especially within the Black community, where these issues are often overlooked or even stigmatized. Taraji founded the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, named after her late father, with the mission to break the stigma surrounding mental health and provide essential support to those battling mental illnesses. For Taraji, she understands better than anyone that no one should have to face these struggles alone. Love and companionship are the true powers that help overcome the darkness, and she is using her story to inspire hope for thousands of others. Toni Braxton, the legendary R&B icon, has touched millions of hearts with her golden voice through timeless hits like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again. With a dazzling career, stellar fame, and numerous prestigious awards, she seemed to have everything one could dream of. However, beneath the bright stage lights, Toni is a mother, fighting a relentless silent battle, one only a mother's love can endure the pain of watching her youngest son, Diesel, drift into a silent and distant world she cannot reach. One summer in 2006, in a room filled with colorful toys, soft teddy bears, miniature cars, animated robots, all bustling with the laughter and calls of children. But Diesel, who was only 3 years old at the time, sat quietly by himself. No laughter, no words, no participation or interaction with the world around him. The boy held a small toy car in his hand, slowly turning the wheels, his eyes fixed on it, as if it were the only thing that existed in his universe. Toni called Diesel's name once, twice, then many more times, with a voice full of anxiety and trembling. But there was no response, no sign of recognition. The boy was like a ghost in a room full of life, completely isolated from everything around him. Looking back, the signs had been there long before, but Toni hadn't noticed at first. Diesel never babbled, like other children, never smiled when his mother called, never reached out to be held. His small body was stiff, not seeking warmth from his mother's arms, not clinging to her like normal children. There were nights when Diesel stayed awake for hours, sitting silently and staring up at the ceiling in an eerie silence. But sometimes that silence was broken by uncontrollable fits of anger and crying that lasted for hours without any clear reason. Although Toni tried to comfort and soothe him, even breaking down in helplessness, nothing could ease the pain inside her son. When doctors officially diagnosed Diesel with autism, Toni's world completely collapsed. She felt as if she had fallen into a bottomless abyss, but instead of giving up, she was determined to fight for her son's future. With the boundless love of a mother, she threw herself into researching every treatment method, support therapy, and solutions that could help Diesel break free from the lonely, frozen world of silence. Thanks to early intervention and relentless perseverance, progress began to emerge. Diesel gradually started responding to the outside world, expanding his connection beyond the small toy car he once endlessly spun. He discovered a love for art, a means to express emotions and connect with those around him. Step by step, Diesel learned to express himself. Step by step, he built a bridge back to life. During this challenging journey, Toni also found a new mission in her life. In 2010, she became an active advocate for autism awareness, partnering with the organization Autism Speaks and appearing in campaigns to raise community awareness. Alongside Diesel, who was then 7 years old, she participated in a public service video emphasizing the importance of early intervention, while sharing their family's story to break down the stigma and misconceptions surrounding autism. Toni not only helped her own son, but also inspired thousands of other families, encouraging them to bravely seek help overcome fear and stigma. She uses her voice as a guiding torch, bringing hope to those struggling in the darkness. Today, Diesel has become a promising young model, gradually stepping into his own spotlight. Although autism remains an inseparable part of his life, an invisible mark that cannot be erased, Diesel has proven that with love, support, and determination, a diagnosis cannot define the future. Through all the challenges, he continues to move forward, writing his own story filled with hope and meaning. Tracy Morgan, the legendary comedian from Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock, has spent decades making the world laugh with his sharp wit and charm. But behind the bright stage lights and thunderous applause, he is a father fighting a silent, tearful, and painful battle, watching his young daughter Maven struggle with a rare neurological disorder. Maven, a child born into the Hollywood spotlight, was unable to stand on her own 2 feet. A father's worst fear came true during a cold winter in New York City in 2015, as Tracy sat silently in a quiet therapy room, surrounded only by the faint hum of medical equipment. His eyes were fixed on his fragile little daughter, just 2 years old, whose body seemed too small for her age. Maven's tiny legs were too weak to support her body. She tried to stand for a brief moment before immediately collapsing. Her small hands clutched a toy tightly, but her trembling fingers couldn't hold it firmly. Her muscles refused to obey, contracting and twisting, causing her fragile body to endure intense pain, yet she couldn't even cry out to release it. Tracy heard the diagnosis from the doctor's words that cut deeper than any joke he had ever told. On stage, his daughter might never walk, might never live an independent life. But Tracy Morgan was not one to easily accept such a fate. With the heart of a father, he decided not to give up. He challenged every medical prediction and placed extraordinary faith in his daughter. He spent millions of dollars on an unusual and unconventional treatment, building a giant shark tank right in his backyard. It sounded strange, even a bit ridiculous, but Tracy believed that watching the powerful and agile movements of these creatures could magically stimulate Maven's reflexes. Every day, he carried his daughter outside and sat beside the large shark tank for hours on end, patiently waiting, hoping, and praying for a miracle. And then the impossible happened. Maven's eyes began to light up as she watched the sharks glide gracefully beneath the water. Slowly, she started to respond more, her tiny hands reaching out to weak muscles as if her mind was awakening to the world around her. The journey has been one of immense strength and extraordinary willpower. Today, Maven has made remarkable progress, even though she still faces many challenges that only those who have lived through them can truly understand. But with relentless determination, she fights step by step on her path to recovery. And always by her side is a father who never stops believing in his daughter's potential, even when the whole world says it's impossible. That love and faith are the fire that lights the hope within Maven, helping her to keep rising and moving forward. Shaquille O'Neal, the towering and powerful NBA basketball legend, is a name forever etched in the history of sports. During his years wearing the Los Angeles Lakers jersey, winning countless titles, and dominating the court with unmatched strength and skill, he became an irreplaceable icon in the world of basketball. But behind the glory and illustrious career, Shaq faced a different battle, one unrelated to his profession or the sports arena, but a painful and anxious fight for the health and life of his beloved son. Everything began to change in 2018 when Shaquille's son, Shaquille O'Neal, then 18 years old and a promising basketball athlete at UCLA, received a serious diagnosis that struck the entire family like a thunderbolt. During a routine health checkup, doctors discovered that Sherry had a complex congenital heart defect directly affecting his coronary arteries, the vital vessels supplying blood to the heart. This defect not only threatened his sports career, but also posed a direct risk to his life. That news hit the O'Neal family like a massive storm. A bright career and a promising future suddenly seemed frozen in unpredictable uncertainty. Sherry was scheduled to undergo open-heart surgery, a major dangerous operation filled with risks. December 12, 2018 is a day deeply etched in the memories of Shaquille and his family, marking one of the longest and most stressful days of their lives. Sherry lay on the operating table, his young heart opened up by surgeons for repair. Every step the doctors took was careful and meticulous, as even the slightest mistake could cost him his life. The atmosphere in the operating room was heavy and tense, with everyone maintaining complete silence, accompanied only by the sounds of machines and steady breathing. Then the most terrifying moment came, when Sherry's heart monitor suddenly stopped for several seconds, a moment that felt like the whole world was collapsing. Everyone held their breath, hearts pounding in their chests, praying for a miracle. And finally, the heartbeat returned stronger and more stable than ever, bringing a ray of hope for the young man's life. But the journey ahead was still full of hardships. The days after surgery were a relentless battle with pain, bodily weakness, and challenges that any athlete must face to recover. Every step, every smallest movement was an extraordinary effort. Sherry, a young man who once conquered the court with strength and agility, now had to struggle every second just to stand on his own feet. With trembling limbs and a drained body, he had to relearn everything from walking to eating and normal daily activities. Shaquille O'Neal, a man once a symbol of strength and unyielding will on the court, now felt powerless in the face of his son's pain and weakness. No titles or praise could help him overcome the overwhelming worry. Every night, Shaq stayed by Sherry's hospital bed, cheering him on, encouraging him, and passing on strength drawn from the boundless love of a father. Rising above all those challenges, Sherry has demonstrated his fierce fighting spirit. He has not only overcome physical pain, but also conquered doubts, anxieties, and mental fatigue. With each day of rehabilitation, Sherry is gradually returning to his passion for basketball, stepping back onto the court with a completely new perspective on life. The scars on Sherry's body are not only marks from the arduous heart surgery, but also a testament to the young man's indomitable willpower. Although he knows these wounds will stay with him for life, Sherry continues to hold strong faith in the future and a burning desire to live fully through his passion for basketball. Shaquille O'Neal is prouder than ever of his son, a young man who not only conquered a life-threatening illness, but also taught his family and fans a powerful lesson about perseverance, courage, and a father's boundless love. Their story stands as a living testament to the strength of family bonds, hope, and the resilience to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. Jay-Z and Beyonce, two of the most powerful icons in the global music industry, are known not only for their record-breaking hits, but also for the perfection of their family and the massive musical legacy they have built. They have it all: a brilliant career, worldwide fame, and the joy of family with their daughter, Blue Ivy. But behind the dazzling stage lights inside sold-out stadiums and legendary recording studios lies a silent struggle, a challenge few outsiders are aware of their battle with Blue Ivy's hearing difficulties. The story began in 2006, when Blue Ivy was only 4 years old. Beyonce, a perceptive and attentive mother, gradually noticed something unusual about her daughter. While children her age were usually enthusiastic about sounds, playing with music, and responding quickly to calls, Blue Ivy seemed distant, quiet, and sometimes did not respond when her mother called her name. At first, Beyonce thought it was just typical child behavior, innocence, restlessness, or simply a temporary phase. However, over time, her concern grew into a deeper fear. Blue Ivy, a little girl born into a family where music is the lifeblood of existence, seems to be disconnected from the world of sound that her parents love and create. Rhythm harmony melodies echoing throughout the house. What everyone around her considers normal is for Blue Ivy a difficult challenge, an invisible barrier she cannot easily overcome. That worry led to a series of urgent medical tests. The days of waiting for results became suffocating for Jay-Z and Beyonce as they gradually faced a reality no one ever wants to confront. The final results were revealed. Blue Ivy was diagnosed with an auditory processing disorder, a condition that allows her to hear certain sounds, but causes significant difficulty in processing audio in noisy environments or at high frequencies, especially the core sounds that define music itself. For a family where music is life, this diagnosis felt like a massive shock, an unimaginable twist in fate. They may have conquered the world with talent and hard work, but this is a battle where talent alone is not enough. This is a battle of love, patience, and unwavering determination. Jay-Z and Beyonce refused to let this condition define Blue Ivy's life. They sought out intensive therapies, cutting-edge rehabilitation methods, and the most advanced assistive technologies. They devoted their time and love entirely to walking alongside their daughter on this difficult journey. Every day was a new battle, from helping Blue Ivy learn to recognize sounds to teaching her how to use hearing aids. Each step required immense patience. In addition, Jay-Z and Beyonce focused on creating a loving and supportive family environment where Blue Ivy could feel safe and confident enough to overcome her own limitations. They never allowed her to feel isolated or different, always emphasizing that everyone has their own unique value and that challenges are never the end of the road. In addition, Jay-Z and Beyonce focused on creating a loving and supportive family environment where Blue Ivy could feel safe and confident enough to overcome her own limitations. They never allowed her to feel isolated or different, always emphasizing that everyone has their own unique value and that challenges are never the end of the road. The journey of this young girl is not only a story of rising above adversity, but also a powerful challenge to all prejudice and expectation. The pinnacle of that story came when Blue Ivy, at just 9 years old, became the youngest person in history to win a Grammy, a feat never achieved before. That victory was not only a testament to her innate talent, but also a symbol of unyielding willpower and the determination to triumph over obstacles that once seemed impossible. Jay-Z and Beyonce, two superstars of the music world, may own countless hit songs and chart-topping albums, but their greatest masterpiece isn't found on the charts or among prestigious awards. That masterpiece is the strength and love they have instilled in their daughter, a young girl raised to understand that hardship is not the end, but a stepping stone to rise up, surpass all limits, and redefine her own future. Blue Ivy is not only a source of pride for her parents, but also a symbol for every child around the world quietly battling their own unique challenges, that with love, perseverance, and faith, no limit is unbreakable. Their story has inspired millions, proving that no matter where life takes us, the power of family and belief will always be the guiding light. Tiny Harris, the talented singer of the legendary group Xscape and the devoted wife of rapper T.I., leads a seemingly perfect life, dazzling stage lights, endless applause, and a family full of love. But behind that glory lies the tearful story of a mother facing the most terrifying challenge of her life: the battle to save her young daughter, Aris Harris. In 2016, just days after Aris was born, everything changed from sweet dreams of a healthy little angel. The baby was placed in an incubator at the hospital, her tiny, fragile body flickering like a candle in the wind. Tiny sat beside her. Every fragile breath Aris took felt like a knife piercing straight through her heart. The baby's pale skin, her weak, gasping breaths, mixed with the irregular heartbeat displayed on the medical monitors, kept Tiny glued to her side. Every passing second was a tense struggle between life and death. The diagnosis of congenital heart disease hit the Harris family like a storm. Aris's tiny heart had a serious defect, making blood circulation difficult, and without timely surgery, she would not survive. It was news that shattered a mother's heart, but Tiny knew she couldn't break down because she had to be strong not only for herself, but also for her daughter. On the day of surgery, the hospital room was cold and silent, filled only with the sounds of heart monitors' footsteps and the hurried breaths of those involved. The doctors were careful and fully focused as Aris's fragile little heart was exposed under the harsh white lights. The hole in her left ventricle caused blood to leak, and her irregular heartbeat made everyone hold their breath. The tense moments stretched on endlessly each second, feeling like 1,000 years, until a miracle happened. Aris's heart kept beating, and she survived the most critical surgery. But that was only the beginning of a much harsher and more arduous journey. Tiny never left her daughter's side for a moment. Every gesture, every cry from Aris tore at her heart. Fear never left her a slight fever. The smallest sign of difficulty breathing could mean disaster. Endless sleepless nights, countless moments awake waiting for her daughter's every breath, each moment was a brutal test of a mother's love and willpower. Despite facing countless challenges, Tiny Harris never gave up. Her boundless love and resilient spirit made her the strongest support for Aris throughout the recovery journey. The little girl gradually learned to adapt to her tiny body, overcoming limits that once seemed impossible step by step. This was not just a medical battle, but a fight of the spirit. Tiny Harris always believed and nurtured an undying hope that Aris would prevail and become a symbol of strength and life. Their story has become an endless source of inspiration for thousands of families facing similar challenges. Today, Aris is no longer the fragile baby in an incubator, but a little warrior with extraordinary strength, a symbol of power and hope. Through years of trials, Tiny Harris has proven that with unconditional love and relentless perseverance, what once seemed impossible can become reality. The journey of Tiny and Eris is a vivid testament to a mother's strength, to the sacred bond of motherhood, and to the resilience of the human spirit when facing seemingly insurmountable adversity. This is a story not only about survival, but also about love, sacrifice, and unwavering faith in miracles. Usher Raymond, the legend of R&B music who shook the world with hits like Yeah, Burn and You Got It Bad, is not only a talented artist but also a devoted and loving father. His life wrapped in the dazzling spotlight and global tours seemed flawlessly perfect. Yet behind that glamour was a pain, a harsh challenge. No star ever wants to face a nightmare when his sons nearly lost their lives in a terrifying moment. That day in Atlanta, under a clear blue sky, Usher's family was enjoying peaceful moments by the backyard pool. His second son, Usher Raymond V, only 5 years old, was a lively and curious boy like any other child. On a sunny afternoon, Usher V played in the pool, his laughter echoing through the quiet family space. But then, in an instant, that joy turned into an indescribable horror. When Usher V reached down to grab his favorite toy at the bottom of the pool, his small hand was suddenly sucked into the drain's opening beneath the water. The powerful suction held his arm tightly, pulling him slowly deeper underwater. Immediate terror swept through the area, screams from his aunt, and the nanny filled the air as the family and those nearby rushed to help. No one could have imagined that a brief moment could turn an ordinary day into a life-or-death battle. While Usher V struggled desperately beneath the cold water, those present acted quickly. Some nearby construction workers heard the cries for help, and despite the danger, jumped into the pool to rescue the boy from the deadly trap. One dove underwater to fight against the drain's suction, while another rushed to shut off the pump to relieve the pressure. Every second was a fight for survival, not only for the boy, but also for those trying to save him. Finally, Usher V's small hand was freed from the deadly grip, but the boy was powerless, unconscious, and motionless under the blazing sun. Time seemed to stand still, every breath held in anxious anticipation. In the emergency, one of the rescuers immediately began performing CPR, continuous chest compressions, filled with hope to bring the boy back to life. Minutes passed in suspense until a faint breath emerged like a miracle between life and death. This event was not just a rescue, but a profound lesson on the fragility of life and the importance of timely action and courage in life-or-death situations. Usher, once a symbol of strength and success, now realized that no power compares to the love and concern a parent has for their children. In the days that followed, Usher V went through a difficult recovery process, from continuous medical examinations to moments teetering between life and death in the hospital. Usher and his family stayed by his side, without leaving each moment a new battle, a fight against complications and against the lasting effects that drowning could cause. Usher once shared that going through this terrifying event changed him forever. He no longer valued the fleeting glories of his career. Now the life of his son and his family meant everything. He spent more time with his child, reevaluating the importance of peace and the simple moments spent with family. The story of Usher V's nightmare underwater is not only a cautionary lesson about water safety, but also a vivid testament to the power of faith, courage, and the bravery of those around him, the unsung heroes who didn't hesitate to risk danger to save a small life. Today, Usher V has returned to full health and childhood joy. He is a symbol of miraculous survival, a source of pride and endless inspiration for the entire Usher family. His recovery is also a profound reminder that in life, nothing is more precious than life itself and the love of family. And sometimes miracles truly exist in the moments that seem most hopeless. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more, don't forget to like, share the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our exciting upcoming videos. Now let's continue the story together. D.L. Hughley, the legendary comedian from the Kings of Comedy, has dedicated his life to bringing laughter to millions of audiences worldwide. With high-energy performances, sharp humor, and an incredible ability to connect, he became one of the brightest stars in American comedy. But behind the dazzling stage lights and roaring laughter lies a story full of pain and challenges that no joke can ease his battle with Asperger's syndrome that his son Kyle faces. From a very young age, Kyle saw the world in a very different way. At just 6 years old, while other children played freely, Kyle had the habit of sitting still, meticulously arranging his toy cars into a perfectly straight line. Each car was placed with millimeter precision, everything following the strict order he had imagined in his mind. Even the smallest change would make Kyle anxious and distressed. One day, when a pen accidentally rolled off the table, knocking over the first red toy car, the perfection Kyle had painstakingly created was shattered in an instant. The boy panicked, his hands trembling, eyes wide with fear. Kyle tried to fix the line of cars, but no matter how hard he tried, things couldn't go back to the way they were. The overwhelming sensation became too much for him to bear. His body stiffened, and he clutched his head tightly, trying to block out the noise and light around him like a fierce storm raging in his mind. Kyle's world is one of order, where everything must be perfect and stable, while chaos is a nightmare threatening to overwhelm him every day. Doctors confirmed that Kyle has Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism spectrum disorder that makes social communication and emotional processing especially challenging for him. Although Kyle's intelligence is not affected, even small changes in daily life can trigger major crises for him. The outside world was an unpredictable place for Kyle, where even the smallest disruption could turn into a disaster. But amid that storm, one thing never changed: the fierce love and relentless perseverance of his father. D.L. Hughley refused to let his son fight alone. He became a steadfast pillar, a patient companion, and a tireless protector, helping Kyle learn to navigate the world in a way that suited him best. D.L. Hughley did not keep his family's story in the shadows. He used his influence to raise awareness about Asperger's syndrome, sharing his family's journey with the public to inspire hope and encouragement for other families facing similar challenges. He emphasized that early intervention, understanding, and acceptance are key to helping children like Kyle thrive to their fullest potential. Many years passed, filled with countless hours of therapy practice and learning, and Kyle not only overcame seemingly insurmountable barriers, he graduated from college and built an independent and stable life. Kyle's achievements prove that Asperger's syndrome is not a limitation, but simply a different way of seeing the world. With the support and love of his parents, he transformed his challenges into strengths, steadily forging his own path step by step. For D.L. Hughley, the greatest achievement was not sold-out shows or the roaring laughter of audiences, but witnessing his son overcome seemingly impossible challenges. His story is a testament to the power of family love, perseverance, and understanding. It is also a hopeful message to all those struggling within a chaotic world. Resilience and compassion, can heal the deepest wounds and lead us to a brighter life. Below is an expanded and more detailed version of the story about Wanda Sykes and the emotional journey of her family with twins Olivia Lou and Lucas Claude. The home of Wanda Sykes and Alex was filled with love, joy, and laughter, especially when twins Olivia Lou and Lucas Claude were born. The arrival of these two little angels lit up their lives, bringing complete happiness to the family. But beneath that warm surface, a silent and challenging struggle was gradually unfolding. Around 2010, when Olivia and Lucas were just beginning to walk, Wanda and Alex started to notice something different. While other children babbled, freely played, and explored the world with endless curiosity, their twins seemed trapped in a separate world, unable to connect. Olivia, though full of energy and vitality, struggled to maintain a normal conversation. She often appeared distant, as if lost in her own inner world that those around her couldn't reach. Meanwhile, Lucas faced a different battle. Every step he took was a huge challenge. His small, fragile body struggled to maintain balance. Movements were unsteady, as if his body simply refused to cooperate. The increasing physical instability grew more apparent each day, leaving the whole family filled with worry and uncertainty. Desperately seeking answers, Wanda and Alex embarked on a journey to consult specialists and doctors to get an accurate diagnosis for their children. The unwelcome results were soon confirmed. Both Olivia and Lucas were diagnosed with severe developmental delays, particularly affecting their communication and information processing abilities. This news hit their family like a powerful wave sweeping through them, a flood of overwhelming emotions, heartbreak, fear, and confusion. Wanda's family was thrust into an exhausting emotional journey and unprecedented challenges. From grueling speech therapy sessions to motor skills training, nothing was ever easy. Every day was a battle against limits and obstacles, with each step forward requiring boundless patience and unwavering determination. But despite everything, love and relentless perseverance became the guiding light for them. Over the years, Olivia gradually found her voice. She grew more confident in expressing herself, beginning to engage with the world around her in her own unique yet powerful way. Lucas, with continuous specialized support, overcame his physical challenges, stepping into the arena of life step by step, proving to himself and the world that he was stronger than all the obstacles he faced. The story of Wanda's family is not just a journey of therapies or improvements in physical and mental health. It is also about the everyday moments, the small but meaningful victories, the silent struggles that only love and perseverance can heal. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable have been conquered one day at a time. Wanda Sykes, the woman who has made millions laugh with her sharp wit and charm, is now fighting for something far more important: the future and development of her beloved children. Through pain and hardship, Wanda and her family have written a story of triumph, a story of love, resilience, and hope that never fades. Magic Johnson, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, is an icon of strength, talent, and leadership on the court. Winning 5 NBA championships with the Los Angeles Lakers cemented his name in the history of American and global sports. But behind the glory of trophies and the roar of the crowd, Magic Johnson was facing another battle, a profound inner struggle he never imagined he would have to confront: the journey of accepting and understanding his son, E.J. Johnson. From a young age, E.J. Johnson felt different. As a father, Magic couldn't immediately understand his son's feelings. However, deep down, he realized that EJ struggled to fit into the societal norms imposed on love and attraction. EJ tried to fit the mold dating girls in hopes that it would feel right, but deep inside, it never truly did. As EJ entered his teenage years, he could no longer hide his true self. He began a journey of self-discovery and acceptance, immersing himself in the LGBTQ+ community, reading books, watching documentaries, and learning everything he could to better understand himself. Then, in 2013, EJ made a bold decision that became a turning point in his life. He publicly came out as gay. For many, that moment was a path to liberation, a brave act of self-acceptance and living authentically. But for Magic Johnson, who had built his career on strength control and traditional values, it was a moment that sparked a deep internal struggle. Magic felt lost and torn between his unconditional love for his son and the deep-rooted beliefs he held about masculinity and how to raise a son. For 4 sleepless nights, he wrestled with emotions he had never experienced before, questioning everything he thought he knew about fatherhood responsibility and the role of a parent. Confusion, doubt, and fear dragged him into a challenging psychological whirlwind. However, amid this struggle, one truth rose above all else: love is the greatest power. Magic realized that no matter what, his love for his son could never be shaken or denied. That love helped him overcome all doubts and accept EJ for who he truly is. Since then, Magic Johnson has become his son's biggest supporter. This journey was not easy. They faced challenges, misunderstandings, and painful moments. But through it all, Magic and EJ stood side by side, building a strong relationship founded on understanding and acceptance. Magic Johnson is not only a basketball legend, but also a symbol of resilience, courage, and unconditional love. The most profound legacy he leaves behind is not just in his titles or skills on the court, but in the way he demonstrated unwavering love and acceptance for his son. Because in the end, true strength is not about winning championships, but having the courage to stand by the ones you love, regardless of circumstances or societal prejudices. Monica Denise Arnold, the powerful and soulful voice behind hits like Angel of Mine and The Boy Is Mine, has spent decades captivating and winning the hearts of fans with her music. But beyond the spotlight, fame, and success, Monica is facing a silent battle filled with pain and challenges a fight for her son's future. From the moment Rodney Ramon Hill III, affectionately known as Lil Rue, was little, Monica sensed something different about her son. While other children played, laughed, and easily followed instructions, Rodney struggled with focus, his thoughts jumping from one idea to another, like a marble bouncing in a pinball machine. Simple conversations became difficult, as his mind often wandered elsewhere, not just mere distraction, but something deeper and more distinct that Monica couldn't ignore. As Rodney grew older and started school, the challenges intensified. Sitting still for even a few minutes became a torment for him. Simple assignments turned into never-ending battles, leaving Rodney restless, frustrated, and gradually feeling isolated in a world he couldn't control. Finally, the diagnosis was made: ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. For any parent, hearing these words is a huge shock and indescribable pain. But for Monica, what was even more heartbreaking was not just the diagnosis itself, but the relentless judgment from the outside world, a world that is hurried, impatient, and often misjudges children like Rodney. Monica refused to let ADHD define her son. She plunged into a relentless battle to find every possible solution. From appointments with specialists, private tutors, to therapy sessions and tireless research, Monica was determined to do whatever it took to help Rodney overcome the challenges he faced. But the hardest challenge was not the homework or learning itself. It was the outside world, where prejudice still lingered, empathy was scarce, and society labeled children who were different. Despite everything, Monica stood strong, resilient, and never gave up. Thanks to early intervention, unwavering support, and the boundless love of a mother, Rodney gradually overcame barriers that once seemed insurmountable. His journey is still long and full of challenges, but with Monica by his side, Rodney is steadily proving that ADHD is not the final definition of who he is. Their story is a vivid testament that children like Rodney don't need judgment or prejudice from society. What they need is understanding, patience, and love, the very things Monica as a mother has wholeheartedly given her son. Fantasia Barrino, the powerful vocalist who captured the hearts of millions of Americans by winning the third season of American Idol, has faced many challenges throughout her dazzling career. But her deepest pain did not come from the spotlight or the pressures of the music industry. Instead, it was a personal battle, a silent struggle that no fame or success could shield her from the journey with her son, Dallas Xavier Barrino, as they faced the challenges of dyslexia together. Born in 2011, Dallas soon faced an invisible challenge, one that couldn't be seen but deeply affected his life. While Fantasia was immersed in the spotlight of the stage, Dallas struggled in the shadows of a demanding education system. From his earliest years in school, clear signs of dyslexia began to emerge. Letters on the page seemed to dance, blur, and twist together, turning reading into an unsolvable puzzle. Numbers in math were no better. They felt like an endless maze that left the young boy feeling lost and helpless. Even writing a simple sentence drained Dallas with thoughts trapped inside his mind, but unable to be expressed on paper. While his classmates diligently completed their assignments, Dallas sat quietly battling a reality that few could truly understand. Fantasia, with the instincts of a strong mother, never accepted letting her son face that battle alone. She became Dallas's fierce protector, relentlessly seeking solutions to help him overcome his struggles. From hiring tutors and participating in speech therapies to finding specialized educational programs that fit his needs, every effort and sacrifice was aimed at one clear goal: building a better future for her son. Then in February 2022, an incredibly emotional moment arrived, a victory beyond words. Dallas, who had once faced ridicule and struggled academically, stood proudly before his friends and teachers to receive the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award from his school. Dallas's father, Antoine Cook, beaming with pride, shared this joyous news on Instagram, celebrating his son's remarkable accomplishment. That success was not just a victory in the classroom, but a testament to the power of perseverance and courage. It served as a reminder that dyslexia is not the final definition of Dallas, and that a mother's unwavering love and relentless determination can rewrite any story, even those that the world once thought were already written. Holly Robinson. Peete, the beloved actress known for roles in shows like 21 Jump Street and Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, has shined on screen for decades. But behind the spotlight, red carpets, and glamour, she faces a much deeper and more personal battle: the fight for the future of her son, Rodney Jackson R.J. Peete. In 1997, when RJ was born, Holly and her husband, former NFL player Rodney Peete, dreamed of a future filled with hope and joy. But when RJ turned 3, those dreams began to shatter with a challenging diagnosis: autism. From that moment on, each day became a silent battle, one that Holly fought with boundless love, deep pain, and relentless determination. An invisible wall seemed to separate Holly from her son. RJ was unable to express his emotions or say what he wanted. That silence was like a prison trapping him in a private world Holly could not reach. When RJ started school, the feelings of helplessness and pain grew even deeper. Every morning when Holly dropped him off at the school gate, she carried a constant fear. Would RJ be able to connect with his teachers and friends? His cries echoed through the school hallways, but no one truly understood what RJ was going through. Nevertheless, Holly refused to let autism define her son. She plunged into researching behavioral intervention therapies, trying every method to give RJ the best chance to thrive. She became his greatest advocate, tirelessly fighting to break down the barriers society places on children with autism. And then the extraordinary happened. RJ, the boy once underestimated living in a silent world, found his own path. With perseverance and love, RJ became a confident young man with a stable job at the Los Angeles Dodgers. He proved that autism is not a limitation, but simply a different way of experiencing the world. Every milestone, every step forward for RJ is a testament to the power of resilience and a mother's unwavering love. Holly not only fought for her son, but also sought to help other families facing similar challenges. Together with her husband, she founded the Holly Rod Foundation in 1997, initially supporting those with Parkinson's disease, but later expanding to assist children with autism, ensuring that no one has to face this difficult journey alone. Holly Robinson. Peete learned a profound lesson: a diagnosis does not define the love, support, or belief in a child's potential. She continues to inspire through her journey a story of perseverance, maternal love, and unwavering hope. In 2016, Kandi Burruss and her husband Todd Tucker welcomed their second son, Ace Wells Tucker, into the world. However, their joy was quickly overshadowed by fear when Ace was diagnosed with respiratory distress syndrome, RDS, a dangerous condition that made every breath a fight for survival. From the very beginning, Ace lay in an incubator, the constant beeping of the ventilator echoing in his parents' ears, each moment a fragile thread of life. Kandi and Todd endured countless sleepless nights by their child's side, praying for every breath and heartbeat. But Ace, the little warrior, defied the odds, surviving and growing into a joyful, healthy boy. Though fear never fully left Kandi's heart, she remained close, protective, and cherished every moment with her son. Today, Ace often appears on television with his family, a living testament to the power of love and a mother's unwavering perseverance. Cedric the Entertainer. The beloved comedian, known from The Steve Harvey Show and Barbershop, has faced his own challenging journey as his son struggled with a learning disorder. From a young age, Cedric's son experienced great difficulty in school. Letters seemed to dance on the page, and numbers became confusing, turning learning into a nightmare. While his classmates learned with ease, his son battled to focus and steadily fell behind. Together with his wife, Cedric never accepted helplessness. They sought out experts, tutors, and therapy, tirelessly working to help their child overcome challenges. There were moments when the whole family felt nearly hopeless, but they never gave up. Thanks to their perseverance and love, Cedric's son made steady progress, growing into a confident and capable young man. Cedric also used his influence to raise awareness, support inclusive education, and help many other families gain access to essential learning resources. Candy and Cedric's story reminds us that behind the glamour and success, celebrities are also parents facing worries, pain, and hopes, just like any other family. Love, resilience, and faith in their children become the greatest strength to overcome every challenge. If you found this story powerful and moving, don't forget to like and share the video with your friends and those around you so they can learn about it too. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below to let us know what you think. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our exciting upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next videos.